Good afternoon. This is the Wild Man, my co-host Ray, aka DJ Tiano. Ray, would you like to say a little something to the people?
How's it going, people?
Well, we're starting. This is our first episode of Forge. It's a different kind of podcast. It's not usually what you're welcome to or what you're noticed other people showing you around. We're all about obviously the positivity. We want to
Inspire, motivate,
definitely.
conversate. Not everybody's the same. We want to get in depth feeling of how people feel when they succeed, when they fail, the high points, the low points, what makes you excel, others, people's influences.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, all around. We're all looking for discussion. No one's right or wrong in this podcast. And so we're going to try and highlight, no one's wrong. No one's wrong in this world, right?
No, not at all. It's all you want a certain view when you're looking. It's always moving forward. You're going to be attacked either side.
Mm-hmm.
People telling you no, you can't do this, trying to hold you down. You just stay focused. One step, boom, boom, boom.
When you make it, there's the haters. They're gonna tell you negative stuff. They're gonna try and bring you down to their level. When you're struggling and striving, people might take heed to that. People might notice that more. But again, people might shoot you down because you're struggling. You're not on their class, their level. You don't have the same education. Don't you hate when people think just because
That
they have an
annoys me.
education?
That just, yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, common sense outweighs book smarts. Anybody can pick up a phone these days and learn history, what it takes to get rid of a headache. I burned myself with bacon grease. My significant other, his sister, oh yeah, rub some ointment on it. And I'm like, all right, let's rub some ointment on it. She was wrong. You're not supposed to rub ointment on it. So I picked up the phone, and I got the information. So book smarts is not where it is. We're aiming to be more common sense, knowledgeable. What you've been through, what you haven't been through, uphill battles, uh, things that got you to the level that you wanted to succeed at, things like that. And I feel like I can offer a lot.
Yes, he's definitely he's the balance. I'm, as I said, wild man. I am the crazier side of things. He is the
Laid back,
calm,
sit
laid
back,
back. Yeah.
pay attention to everything going on in the room. Don't speak unless spoken to. Sometimes I don't carry on conversations like, "How's the weather going?" I'm pretty much reserved most of the time. But if you start talking, science, if you start talking Nikolai Tesla, you start talking, space, numerology, I'm all for it, man. Like deep conversation.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that meme. You ever see that meme? It's like an iceberg up here. It looks
Yes,
small,
yes, that's
but
what you
underneath
see.
the water,
You
you
see
got
everything.
all the
Yeah,
motivation. I got all the work.
yeah. All the failures, you know. Yeah.
That's kind of me. Wait for the Titanic to come in,
There
right
you
into
go.
that thing.
I can
And open
sink
it
it.
up. That's the wild man.
That's true. Yeah. Just and the big thing is what pushed me to do this and get in contact with Ray is we're all equal. Having this
Absolutely.
means nothing.
You're born
Like
in
the
this world with nothing, you go out of this world.
you can't take it with you.
No, you cannot.
So, like I said, I got together. I needed somebody to balance out the equation. It just can't be all the time. So,
Yeah, and also I'm a DJ, so we might get into that a little bit. We'll tell you what got me on that,
yeah,
avenue of things. Outside of that, I've been a painter pretty much my whole life, a house painter,
mm,
artist. I've dabbled with artistry when I was a kid in school. And that's basically what I did in school was art. Anything that had to do with art, whether it was poems, music, you name it, I was in it.
I tried.
Advertising.
Yeah, my teachers annoyed me when I got to art. I wanted to do my own thing.
That's a whole nother. Uh, we'll get to that in another episode about school and how we feel about school curriculum these days.
Ooh,
Uh, I'm sure a lot of you out there are stuck in the bubble of this homeschooling, and I think we're all ready to You know, whether it's ourselves or our kids or whatever, we go in the other room and scream into the pillow, whatever it takes to get it out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the circumstances are what they are. None of us have ever dealt with this. Right?
No.
And this podcast, you know what? This podcast can help a lot of people going through a rough time right now. What do you
Well,
think?
that's what we're hoping. People, they see the podcast and they think, you know what, we can, instead of just hearing it on a commercial, or we're in this together but separate. No, we're in this together and we got to push through to get through it. This so we don't lose our sanity.
Balance again.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I'm gonna try and bring the balance to you all, not just this guy. All of you guys.
Yes, that's right.
And you guys are probably like, who's this guy? I'm bring balance. I'm just a Joe Schmo. I got a few stories to tell. I have success stories, and I can tell you what it took for me to get there. I have, this last year was not easy on me. I took a lot of losses. Close childhood friends, family members. I went through it all through this pandemic, so we could speak about that on another episode.
Yeah.
We can maybe lift some of you guys up out of the funk that's been going on. Eventually, we want to get into some, email questions, mailbags. We don't want this to just be a mano conversation. We want people to join in.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the future.
We're not gonna be the type of guys that are gonna be like, oh, what's this guy talking about? We're gonna break it down. We're gonna elaborate. We're gonna get in a conversation. We're gonna discuss.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss. That's why we're here.
We won't cut you out. If you have a question, like they say in school, no question's too stupid. If you contact us with a question via email, phones, whatnot, we consider you friends. We consider you family. So we will definitely bust your chops, and I expect you to come right back with me. I can handle it.
Yes,
That's what we want.
We're all human.
Yeah.
We're all here for the same reason. We all want to succeed. I mean, if hate is in your veins, you probably already turned this podcast off because you're like, who are these Joe Schmoes? But
Average, everyday people.
we're the type of people that we take to social media and we try to inspire others. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that look at my posts like, oh, here's this guy on his inspirational quote of the day type stuff. Listen, people, I'm not out there posting these things because I said them. I'm posting because I read them. I felt it in my soul, and I want to regurgitate that to the people that are on my list. You know what I mean? The things that make my wheels turn and make me want to go, break through that next glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's all we're about, is motivation.
Reaching that next level.
And if we want to implement the title of our podcast, I'll let you take that because this was your idea.
Yeah, no, the whole thing with Forge is you take something.
Like a blacksmith.
Yeah, like a blacksmith. You take something what you are now, and you forge through, mold it, and create a better version of yourself. You're not trying to be better than anybody. I'm not trying to one-up Ray. He's not trying to one-up me. We want to become better.
What's interesting about that is, so it's like a blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of blacksmith, when everybody thinks of blacksmith, they think of that huge anvil that was in Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the thing that you're trying to forge, the thing that you're trying to create.
Whatever, the sword, the spear, the shield.
It takes that anvil.
Mm-hmm.
It takes that stability of that anvil, that balance of that anvil, and it takes the heat that it takes to mold whatever you're trying to forge, which is what we're trying to create, that heat. We're trying to forge you as, and us.
And our words are the hammer.
And our words and your input are the hammer.
There you go.
Whatever you say,
I like that.
Gets put in, acknowledged by us, and then we think about it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss this stuff. We're going to take you to the next level.
And even use what you may have to say. We might have not have seen that or overlooked it, and what you have to say through us can help somebody else move on or reach that next step. And like,
family members, friends, people even that you don't see eye to eye with, enemies. You can rekindle friendships by helping others, help yourself. We're looking for the whole positive role model kind of deal with this podcast. We want to put everybody on the same level as we were put here. Obviously, certain human beings are like me, for instance. I'm a painter. I was forced into, I don't want to say forced, but the card was dealt.
Yeah.
So I was always taught, when you do something, do it to the best of your ability. walk in that room and do it better. Not than anybody else, do it better than you did it the day before.
Yeah.
Um,
Always improve upon that.
and if you do that, and you mix that in with staying humble, keeping your ego down, which is we can do a couple of shows on ego.
Most definitely. Hell, I still have problems sometimes. I got to keep
We all
my
got
own check.
egos. We all got egos. We always got to
Yeah.
beat that ego back down. We always got to take the hammer to that sword and
Yeah.
flatten
There's
it
an edge.
out.
There's a
sharpen
chip.
it.
Let
You
me
gotta
fix that.
sharpen
Yeah.
it. My ego comes and goes. I can honestly say confidence is huge with success. When I started the DJing thing, I was always into the craft of the '80s DJ, the guy that's scratching, the guy that's looping disco tracks and making it, you know.
Yes.
So
Just on a shoot of that. Do you do that? I mean, I watch them over there, but doesn't that just feel like
I
they're
can.
ruining the record?
Well, see, now it's all digital. There's no
Oh, okay.
records. I'm not running nothing. It came as is and it leaves as is. You put it back in the case and you're done with it.
Okay. All right.
I do scratch. I would like to do a lot more scratching. It's basically why I started.
Okay.
But as I got into the DJing and I started doing weddings, I
Mhm.
started doing events, celebrating people's accolades. It made me
Yes.
feel good.
That's good. More people
providing
should be like that.
providing music. Music is vibration. We're all vibration.
Mhm.
So whatever beat you rock to during the course of the week, everybody has different flavor.
True.
But music is important in life, I believe.
That's why, along with that, with him and with the DJ, with the music, I like to, with starting this, also kind of like DJs of life, that everybody moves to their life at a certain beat, Ali used to say, you just get in that groove. Once you find that groove, along with a bunch of other martial artists, you can be unstoppable.
Which, hey, we're both martial art guys. You guys don't know that. You will know that through the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a big Bruce Lee guy. It's not only because of his kicks and how fast he could do it or how powerful he could do it. His philosophies on the outlook of life played a huge role in my life. I can honestly say. I got into the flicks earlier at a young age for the martial arts. I was a big Van Damme guy. I liked the splits and the kicks and the whole idea of a tournament and one guy being, better than the other. But it wasn't, again,
It was just to showcase his
it's
skills.
like a
It
dance.
wasn't-
Martial arts is dancing, and seeing two guys try to excel at the same goal, and one guy come out on top. It was always
Yeah,
Van
and
Damme.
still
Van Damme.
showing that nobility. It's not like, haha, I beat you.
Mhm.
My skills happen to be better today, but
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
improving. And next year, it could be you right here.
Yeah,
You know,
So yeah, our podcast is totally directed at trying to improve your life, try to bring you up the next level. We're really looking to inspire, motivate,
Mhm.
and again discuss. I'm really into helping others just visualize, what could be, what could change throughout.
what will be?
What can you do to change?
Smash through any obstacles that you may have in your life, and
Absolutely.
let you know that day or night, you got a question, hit us with an email. And at the end of the podcast, we'll shoot that out to everybody what the email will be, what it is. And we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Exactly. Again, discussion is going to be big. This isn't going to be a serious podcast. We actually can be pretty funny guys. I mean, him so more so than me. I'm a little monotone here and there, but it's because I'm focused on them.
Yeah. No, that's a good. Like I said, you got to have the balance. You just can't be all. What is it? What do they say to the kids nowadays? Sometimes you have the control and you have the id. Well, for me, it's the id is way up here. My control's hidden sometimes.
My control. I have to confess, I'm probably a control freak. But, it has nothing to do with controlling other people. It has to do with controlling my destiny, my surrounding.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with any feelings towards anybody else. It's I got a one-track mind, man. When I get in the lane, I go for it.
I hear you.
And that's something I could help people out with. They can help me out with it. They can help me understand why I'm like this.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
don't
lot
wanna
of people
stay-
out there that have education
Yeah.
past my point of understanding the human brain and things like that can, chime in and let us know why are we like this,
Yeah, I think in the future we'll after we get a few of these in, we'll have some live episodes where you can chime in during it, and I know I've watched them on the TikTok and what that, and they're trying to read it. It's like
Yeah.
I believe there's where we can only allow so many people in at once. This way we can make sure we answer everybody's question, and
Yeah.
two people don't feel they were overlooked because we don't want to do that.
We're gonna do rollover. If the email comes from the week before,
Okay.
because we didn't have enough time, we're gonna put it out there as it comes in. We're not gonna skip anybody. We're not gonna leave anybody out. It's important that everybody's heard.
Most definitely.
You ever been in a circle of friends or a circle of people, and everybody's talking, right? You find your spot to talk, and then someone starts just blurting over you.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
does that ever happen?
Oh yeah, multiple times. You're trying to talk and somebody just talks over you, or they
Because
want to interrupt because they know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
But they want to know. Let me say.
So,
Even if you know the answer, let me
as
speak.
much as I hate it, I do it to people, though. You ever find yourself doing that? So I talk to your sister all the time.
Yeah.
She hates it because I try to finish her sentences. It's not because
You're
I'm
talking
trying
to
to be a jerk.
Oh, okay.
It's because I'm trying to understand her before she.
Yes, I stopped trying to understand women when I was about 9. It was never going to happen.
No.
Never.
It's like a book
It's
like
not.
this.
It's not. Yeah, just when you get to the end, there's more book.
Hey, and this is
That's not a bad thing.
This is not a. We're not
Knocking
showing
female.
favoritism to any gender.
Yeah. No.
All genders are welcome to join this podcast. Matter of fact, we want females to join the podcast so that you can help us men better understand ourselves, understand yourselves, and so forth.
No toxic masculinity.
No politics.
No. Oh, Jesus.
No politics. We don't do politics.
No. Or religion. You can pray to whatever God or whoever you want to.
Listen, we can beat around the bushes of these topics, but once names are getting dropped or sides are being picked, we're done with the conversation. We're not going to be persuaded by higher anarchy, people who try to benefit off of money. You can say that for either religion and politics. You got your churches that pass around the basket, they want the money. You got the pastor driving the Cadillac out of the joint.
Don't get me started on that.
Exactly. So that's why we're going to not go there, right? We're not going there, dude. I've had enough views, the simple people on Facebook going back and forth like school children, freaking fighting it out which side they represent. It's bullish. You don't need that.
Everybody has your own opinion. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I'll tell you what, the more I stray away from that stuff, the more positive lane I find myself in.
Yeah. You got to stay away from the flock. Stay away from the sheep.
The more you're force-fed BS, the more BS your life's going to be. That's the way I...
Yeah.
Be true to yourself.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Not the old guy in office, whether he's orange or he's white or... No. No politics here, right?
Whether he's orange or white, who cares?
You lose. Take it like a man and move on.
There you
That's
go.
all I'm saying.
Let the next guy try to do better.
And then you got a chance of coming back. Hey, it's up to you. That's not where we're going in this podcast.
Yeah, no. There's a different way to do things, a different way to look at things instead of
Cookie cutter.
the
way they want you to think.
Okay, yeah. It's never this. Life isn't this.
Blue or red.
No. Life is this. There's all of this. And if you get so focused or you get the negativity, you miss all the good stuff that could come along with whatever you're trying to do. So,
well, even in negative, bad situations, there's positives that come out of it.
Yes, but you don't see because all you see is the bad, and you miss the good.
Exactly. So we talk balance. We say I'm the balance. I'm big in the balance, and number one symbol to describe balance would be the yin yang. I don't know if you guys are. I'm sure you've all seen a yin yang once in your life, whether it was distorted or it was the original circle with the squiggly line down the center, the white and black on the opposite color dots. What that represents, if you go out and you do your research on that, is in order for there to be light, there needs to be dark. That's the balance. That's what yin yang, evil, good, any spectrum of the, whatever which way you look at it.
Yeah.
You can almost break that down to any scenario. every day. I use that concept. I don't say yin yang all the time, but
No.
the concept is in my subconscious. So
Work, don't work.
Yeah.
Smart, not smart.
Mm.
You need them both, so we know.
wash your hands.
Yep,
don't wash
dirty,
your
yep.
hands, Wear a mask and wear a mask. You know,
Mhm.
such goes, people. Living in different times, you got to pick, your side, but it's your side, so you don't
And
need to defend your choices. It's not what we're about here.
no, you don't have to defend your opinion. That's your opinion.
Exactly.
And you're not wrong in your opinion because it's your opinion.
When people start to distinguish the difference between opinions and facts, you can really put your head straight on forward and move forward. Stop trying to defend your opinion. It's your opinion. We all have them. The more you stay true to yourself and your opinion, that's cool. Don't force your opinion on other people just because it makes you feel better.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, and if it does, you might want to look inwards and see why you feel the need to force your opinion on others.
Well, that's the part where discussion comes in.
Yeah.
Discussion is going to be huge on this podcast. That's all I think about is the conversations that can be had. The stuff that goes through my head, I finally have an outlet for it. I mean, I'm one of those people that very simple appearance,
Mm-hmm.
very simple, just a normal person walking by me. Anybody that knows me on the surface, courteous, humble. I keep my head on my shoulders. But there's a lot going on here, man. A lot going on here. There's everybody else, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that really has a huge play into why I wanted to join this podcast with Brandon. It's just I got a lot of stuff up here that needs to come out,
Mm-hmm.
and it could help us. It could help you.
Yeah, and that what you just said ties in before about with the balance about on the surface you're confident. You've seen that meme where it shows Bill Gates. I believe it's Bill Gates. He's standing in line for a hamburger,
With the
and
regular
a little
clothes
side
on.
thing. He's got the regular clothes.
Yeah.
It's probably about maybe $100
Got the
outfit.
guy in Versace next to him, or
No,
something like that.
he's sitting waiting
Yeah.
behind a couple people.
Oh yeah, and you couldn't
you know.
distinguish the difference.
Yeah, you can't.
But you
tell.
know who he was, so he was
Yeah.
worth money. But he's sitting there in a
He's
$10
waiting.
suit.
Yeah, he's waiting to get his burger. Like he could have just cut in line with billions of dollars, but no, because he's still a human.
Yeah.
This doesn't make you a better person. You just you're able to reach out and get different things that the people that are still working for it. It doesn't make you better.
There's a lot of people out there that take that avenue.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Floyd Mayweathers that think they're invincible because they got all the money in the world. They can do what they want, say what they want. But then you got your guys like I don't know if you ever got into Matthew McConaughey outside of being an actor.
Yes, I
Guy's
listened to
huge.
him. Yeah.
Huge motivational speaker. This dude, I just listened to Joe Rogan Experience,
Okay.
and he was the guest on there. The stuff he was saying, I couldn't get it out fast enough to spread it on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking an hour and a half, 2 hours of interview.
Yeah.
And this guy is just knowledge after knowledge after knowledge. And he's just saying what we were saying. It's not all about the money. Yeah, I'm rich. Yeah, I got notoriety and shit like that. But it's not about that.
No. Quality of life.
If you haven't had a chance to listen to him, I'm gonna drop a lot of these interviews on people for them to go listen to. Because I listen to this stuff at work all day. When you stare at walls 8 hours a day, you gotta have something going on in your life.
You're listening.
And I'm a DJ, so I've listened to enough music over and over and over and over again to, fill that void with something else. And to be honest with you, now that I'm on the podcast tip, and this is why I want to join podcasts and do podcasts, is because it gives me something, it feeds my brain. It's giving my,
like idle hands, give me something to
food.
do. Yeah.
Music can do that too as well, but music is more based on vibration and emotion. Music is huge with emotion. We could go into that on a whole nother podcast.
Oh yeah.
I can even break down some scientific things that I found out about beats per minute in the human body and your heartbeats and why you're more apt to dance certain beats and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff, actually.
No, I've vaguely browsed some of that. I haven't gotten too deep in it. But as Ray was saying, Matthew McConaughey was a big pusher of why I wanted to till all right, let's do this. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get out because he has reach.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
just like Will Smith too. And it's like I want to
That's
call these guys up and say, listen, you stick to acting. You are awesome. Don't take this. You're awesome at telling people, like being a public speaker and whatnot. Let us regular guys get up in there because, like he said, I've listened to Will Smith. It's like, oh man, he's going to corner the market. Matthew McConaughey, he's going to corner the market. What these guys have to say, don't even, yeah.
He is the franchise of the market.
But it's just they can reach out to so many other people, and what they say, it's not like a lot of these other your to speakers who are like, you got to do this and this and this. No, they're just talking
Well,
to
they're
you.
trying to sell you their books.
That is, yeah.
I mean, there is substance behind what they're saying, and I'm sure that they use some
I
of that
bought a
stuff
few of
along
their
way.
books.
Like Tony Robbins and stuff like that.
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad is he.
He's
I will.
good.
He's
I
good.
don't know. His voice gets. I don't know what about his voice, but his
Yeah.
voice really
It's not
catches
monotone.
a spot in my brain.
It makes
It's
you
like,
think, and you're
yeah.
like, oh my god, what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
Isn't
these.
it weird how voices can.
Yeah, because I grew up, the only voice really you hear is that Charlie Brown teacher, wah 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 wah.
When you were growing up.
Yeah, when I was growing up, yeah, I am showing my age a little bit. But
No,
that
I
was
still
it.
got Charlie Brown, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't even know what Charlie Brown was.
my 2-year-old was just watching Peanuts. She was like, all right.
Was she? No.
Yeah, well, it's a newer version. So
Okay, all right.
was, you know,
Yeah, I heard they were redoing Looney Tunes too. They're gonna do actually,
I have
which
to
would be
clean
sure.
that up a lot.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice how much stuff was in Looney Tunes?
Oh yeah, that we didn't say anything on it because it was funny. We did, yeah.
I mean, everything from rapists, Puppy the Pew.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, there was everything in that.
There
It
was
bad stuff.
It was
And
very bad. But
us
then
kids didn't
yeah.
think about that
No,
crap,
no.
though. That's
No.
another thing we could talk about one of these days. I feel like sometimes if adults holstered their childhood brain, then, you know, children get along, man. Like, you know, there's things that they fight about.
Don't
but
push
it's
your
very
beliefs
simple.
on your kids. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're religious, don't go out and make, you know, your offspring feel like they need to be religious, just as religious as you.
Mhm.
You know, you can show them the way. Whether they want to take up on it or not, it's up to them.
But show them the ways. It's not just your way. There are
Exactly.
multiple
Exactly.
ways.
None of us are right.
No.
None of us are right. I'll go back to that.
See, I like what you're saying, but I like the one where they say that hate isn't. You're not born with hate.
Yeah, exactly.
You're taught hate.
Where you see, like, you'll see a
The little
white
white boy
child
and the
and a
black
black
child.
child
They'll hug.
hugging, or you
Yeah.
know, they're playing.
Hey friend. Hey
That shit
friend.
is taught. You're
Yeah.
right. This shit is taught. But it's so deeply rooted into our country that, you know, and that's another.
It's terrible.
We could go on and on
We
about
could.
that, but we're about positivity.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
getting out of that.
Positivity. Yes.
We're gonna go away from that.
That's it.
I'm not even touching that because I just don't. I have so much to say about that, and there's gonna be a lot of people that disagree with me, but it's how I was brought up.
And it's your opinion, so they can't really disagree because it's your opinion. It doesn't matter. You know, he's doing what he needs to do to move forward, to be a better person, to be a better version of Ray, the best version of Ray. He may never get there, but that was one thing. McConaughey said that.
Yeah.
One of his, when he was in school, they were like, "Where do you see yourself? Who's your hero?" Ask me in 10 years.
Yeah.
I've seen it when he did that speech on one of the awards. I loved listening to that speech. And every 10 years, he's nowhere
I
near.
don't know what it is about that dude, but he's really.
He's got that voice too.
He does got that voice.
You know?
You know, rolling around and licking around boogers off. You know, you ever see that commercial?
No.
He's in the Lincoln and he's like. Thinking.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out.
After you watch that, then you got to go on SNL
Okay.
and watch the Jim Carrey version.
Okay.
He's playing Matthew McConaughey rolling around the Lincoln Mark III or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm gonna pick my booger now. I'm gonna roll it up. My fingers like this. And I'm gonna roll it out. I'm gonna flick it. Kind of like who's your hero. Ask me in 10 years.
Okay.
Where are you gonna flick that booger? Ask me in a couple minutes.
They got great stuff. Ah, man. I don't know if if you dabble in the liquors. There was a commercial, Johnny Walker with Jude Law and
I don't recall
It's an
that.
Italian guy. They're on a boat and they're talking about. He's telling the old Italian guy's telling him about. He's an actor. I just forget his name at the moment.
Okay.
It's born, so and so. He goes, I want this boat. Well, it's not for sale. I don't want to buy it. I want to win it with a dance. And the whole commercial,
Never seen that.
he does a dance. Jude Law does this dance number out at this old like opera house and what,
I have
and
to
he
look
wins
that
the
up.
boat. And they go back and forth, and then it switches where Jude Law has the yacht, and the Italian guy's like, I want this boat. I want to win it with a story, and it ends like that. So now you're waiting for this next commercial.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious. Check it. It's on YouTube. Jude Law and Johnny Walker is the. It is a good liquor. Let me tell you.
That commercial can go back to what we were talking about. Being pitting each other against each other, come out on top to win the ultimate prize. But even though he won that prize, it doesn't make him any better.
Yeah, and they were still friends.
Yeah,
and
still friends.
he went back. Now I'm guessing the next part of the commercial is going to be the Italian guy, Gene and Carlo. Gene is an old Italian guy, but he's probably going to tell a story, and then he's going to get the yacht. Go back and forth.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to make each other better. They're spending time with another human being. We're just human, and we want to enjoy life. We weren't made just to work, and line somebody else's pockets.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've had miserable times. I walked around with my head low, and like I said, this year wasn't very, very kind to me, as it wasn't kind to a lot of people out there. But I lost a lot of childhood memories this year. 3 childhood friends. I'm talking same age as me. I'm only 38. 39, I forgot.
You did have a
It's not
good
rough
one.
going.
We're not going to count that year. I'm 38. I'm going to be 39 sometime next year.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's not how old you are either. It's how fruitful you can make life.
Yeah.
Grab those fruits off the tree and make it life as fruitful as you want. You gotta have the will.
Yes.
You gotta have the. You gotta be able to decipher right from wrong, and you gotta have the will.
That motivation.
And you gotta set goals. There's no doubt about it. That is the most, if not the most important part of getting to where you want to go. I started working for the DJ company that I work for. Since I've quit, I have a meeting set up.
Mm-hmm.
I might go back, but we're gonna reevaluate all that. But when I got into that company, I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as events go, I've done some,
Yeah.
but I used my DJ knowledge and my customer service skills through painting to get me through that stuff. And the more and more I applied skills that I have learned previously from other avenues, it made me more and more successful at what I was doing. So my goals were, again, I wasn't trying to be better than anybody in this company, okay, because they were already established, they were good. But my goal mentally was to outshine them in a sense. It wasn't to outshine them as far as capability or say that I'm better than you. It was saying, hey, I'm going to be the best I can be.
Yeah.
Better myself each day. I never. It's not a goal that's easily attainable by saying, hey, I achieved that goal because I was better than these people that one day. No. Those people each taught me something. Every time I worked with each individual, I had learned something different to make my skill set better.
Yes.
And so, when it boils down to it, those people that I was trying to be better than are the ones that helped me be better than I was previously. And now, I got a couple people asking me to come and work for them. I got all positive reviews.
Yeah, I can relate to that in the fact that while I was training in martial arts, fighting somebody that was better than me wasn't about, or a sensei of another style. It wasn't about me being able to beat them. It was,
You need the resistance
I need
to get better.
to learn.
So if a guy's going to come at you with a left hand, but you're not skillfully, you didn't ever adapt your left side of your fighting skill, that guy's going to have that upward position on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he taught you something essentially. I kept getting punched in the left side of my face. Why? Because
Put your guard up.
You never use your left hand to guard because you're always,
Well, see, and I feel a lot of people instead of trying to just learn from somebody, like I would just wanted to learn. A lot of people now when they get into the ring, they just want to beat the other guy. Oh, I beat my sensei, I beat this guy. No, what can I learn from his to take and use for mine?
Mhm.
What can I learn from this person? So my thing would be, what can I learn from Ray? I need to learn a little bit of balance. I need to balance my id with the control of it, so I'm not just all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I'm here to bring you down, brother.
That's
But at the same time,
yeah, there you go.
So as these podcasts go on and we further into it, we'll get better. We'll definitely get better at that. We're going to get better at bringing outside influences and conversations into our circle.
Mhm.
But you'll learn our personalities. You'll learn us a little bit better. And if there's things that you guys are like, hey, these guys are not doing this or they're not doing this. This is our first podcast, all right?
Or something they'd like to hear, something they would like to talk
or
about.
if there's any ideas on segments, we're gonna get into segments eventually. There's one thing I would like to do is take at least one. We'll do like a short 10-minute segment every episode. Maybe at the end of every episode, we'll take a quote, an inspirational quote or a motivational quote. We'll break down what it meant to me, what it meant to me, what metaphors I've taken out of it, and then we'll break it down to what metaphors you've gotten out of it or
I like that.
what you've seen. It's like looking at a piece of art in a museum. You may see one thing, I may see another thing. Guy might
Devil's
went like
advocate.
this with the paint on the thing, but there was actually something to it that we don't know about.
Method to the madness.
Always nothing to it. Always, you can always dig deeper.
Yeah. Well, except for that painting that's got just the one red dot in the top corner, or the one that's got the line. I don't understand that. But you've seen them?
Perspective.
$500,000. Some of those.
Perspective.
I guess.
Paper was printed
I
on.
don't know. Canvas. They're like real paintings. People just put a red dot and it's sold for a few $100,000.
The person who put it on there.
I mean, no, because they were like unknowns. But somebody walked by, and that's why.
I'll have to look into that.
There's another one with like a red line, 3/4 of the way over. It's just right down the canvas, and that's another reason why nobody can say anything about somebody else's opinion. Because I look at a painting and be like, I go, why would you spend $500,000 on that? And somebody else be like, here's a check, take it, give me the painting.
Yeah.
It's
in my painting career, I've worked in a lot of rich people's homes. Let's put it that way. Okay, and put stuff into perspective for me. How the other half lives. But do I want to live like that? Sometimes I think. And to your point with the dot on the thing or whatever, we were working for. I'm not going to say names, but we were working for a very influential business owner in this Rochester area. We're from Rochester, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, their business is one of the top leading businesses. Okay. The husband worked. It was from rags to riches story. Okay.
Okay.
Their house burnt down. They lived with another couple in their basement, and they got together and they made this formula that worked. And now they probably have more money than can be printed in New York State. Working at their house. Back to that, the husband comes home. The wife, she was the one to spend all the money. He was still reserved. Obviously money didn't. Maybe he had the nice Infinity car and all that stuff. Anybody's gonna do that. Nice house. We walk in and the husband's like, "Hey Ray, you think that picture up there is worth $125,000?" Me and my dad look at each other. I work for my father. Me and my dad look at each other, and we're like, that could pay for a whole year of living for us for that little picture. And what made that picture any different than a picture hanging in your house or my house?
I don't know.
The guy himself, he was like, "Would you pay?"
Well, they go along with furniture, woodworking. I've recently I do woodworking on the side. I just started up a little woodworking business, doing small pieces. But
Forging.
I'm forging the pieces. I'm forging. That's going to come later. I'm trying to do I always forget what it's called. You stick the sword or the spear in the forge or whatnot, where you heat up the metal and pound it. I always forget what the name of it is.
I don't know these terms.
I forget. But it just somebody's name on it. It's a piece of wood that's about this big. It's another piece of wood, and there's a piece of leather, a cushion that goes over the top. It's $10,000 for this piece of furniture. There's two pieces of wood because of whoever's name's on it. So it brings you back as how other people view what's treasure, their opinions. This is awesome. I love this. I have to have it. Versus, well, I don't like that. That's too much for that. I would never buy that. Well, that's your opinion. I'm not going to force you to buy this painting or this piece of furniture. Oh, I like it. Nice. If you don't, I don't like it. But hey, cool. It works in your house.
Yes, I'm the type of guy that looks at it like, I ain't paying that money for that crap.
But you know what? I don't think anything less of him if he doesn't like my painting or my piece of wood, and vice versa. We just.
I'm not doubting the skills and the time and
Yeah.
that you put into it. I'm just like, hey, that makes
It's
no
not for
difference in
me,
my
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like a lot of you guys out there, or whatever. I don't have much arts, whatever. I'm not gonna judge you about that. But we can open up conversation to why, or I can maybe shine some light on it. Maybe you'll go on and later on and throw a flick on it. And you like it.
Yeah. Oh, we could do that. Be talking about something and then say, because of what we're saying right now, this scene right here really hits a spot. And then have somebody do a flying kick or something.
A lot of the stuff behind martial arts the reason why, obviously the action part of it is being a dude growing up in the 80s. That's given.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is the discipline that goes into this stuff, the self-discipline. Just being able to, okay, you can kill somebody with two fingers, but the discipline to not do that, because you can do that at any given time of the day.
Yeah.
That holds a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It holds a lot of weight.
Not bragging about it.
Self-discipline. Self-discipline will get you health. Self-discipline can make or break your mindset.
Definitely. Yeah.
Self-discipline obviously it controls your finance situation. Self-discipline could come down to your relationship. Things that your significant other doesn't do, you may not like it. And this is in every relationship. I don't care who you are. From living with a person, seeing that person every day, there's going to be tendencies, stuff you do not like. But in your brain, you need to self-discipline yourself. You cannot make that person a different person. We're not here to change that person. We're here to take that person's traits and your traits and create one. We all need companionship in one form or another.
Yeah.
And the more you are susceptible to understanding that, hey, this person's doing this and I don't like it, I'm not trying to change that. I'm trying to bring it to your attention. Maybe,
there's another way to do this.
Yeah. If you love that person enough,
your strengths and weaknesses will mesh.
You'll
figure out
balance it.
Yeah.
You can balance it. I mean, again, we're going to say that word probably 50 times a podcast. Balance. I mean,
but we won't be saying the word grinding, always on the grind. I hate that word.
He hates it. I don't mind.
The dictionary says grinding means to whittle down till there's nothing left.
But isn't that what essentially people do? You may not like it, but isn't that essentially what people do?
Which is why we're doing this. So I don't have to grind. I want to talk to people. Yes, I want to make money.
I've done the grind. I've done the 40 hours a week.
I did that years ago.
I've done the 20 plus hours of DJing on top of fathering and doing. It broke me down to nothing. One of the reasons why I dialed back to DJing. Mm-hmm. I did 20 weddings in one season. Let me remind you, I did the weddings only on Saturdays and possibly Fridays or Sundays.
Only on Saturdays.
But I also DJ'd a bar every Friday night for 6 years straight. So I did the work thing.
Yeah.
Got out of work Friday, watched the kids till I had to go DJ the bar. DJ the bar to 2 in the morning. Get out, go home. I have to be at the wedding by 12 and be at the wedding for 12 hours. First one there, last one to leave, always. Yeah. So I did the grind. Is it healthy? Hell no.
I chose against it.
Some things it's healthy for. It kept me moving. It kept my gears going. It made me more social. So I was a shy kid, believe it or not. And look at me now. I'm spitting all these words out of my mouth at 100 miles per hour. But I was a shy dude. I sat in the back of class even though I needed glasses and I didn't want to wear glasses. I put my education online because I didn't want to be in the front. I didn't want to talk.
You were in the back?
Always.
See, they put me in the front. Well, my mother
Well,
mostly.
when they put me, wherever they put me, yeah. But if I had a choice, back of the bus I went. If I had a choice, back of the classroom I went.
I was diagnosed with the ADD back when it first came out, so I had to sit in the front of the class. I didn't like that.
I was more so like, hey, the cool kids are in the back. I want to go in the back. I need to be cool.
I need to
That
be
was a
cool.
huge influence on me when I was younger.
Okay.
I was scrawny, like 115 pounds soaking wet.
You were heavier than me. I was 75 until high school.
Wow.
Yeah, 5'3", 75 pounds
What happened
until
to that
11th grade.
balance?
They tried to test me for steroids when I came back from my junior year, because I went up to 6'2", 185 pounds.
Spurt. So I never hit
Say,
that.
oh my God.
Never hit that last years, yes. It's because my significant other has been cooking some pretty damn good food, man.
Growth spurting the other way, not.
And seeing the kids and picking off all the dishes.
Oh yeah, yep. Remember they don't finish.
But I'm gonna be back on the self-discipline. I'm starting to shed some of those, and I never want to be a muscular guy or nothing. Watching the martial arts and stuff like that taught me you don't need to be that stone chiseled guy.
Sammo Hung.
Exactly.
He's a big dude, but he's fast.
Who's the other guy? Charlie on Fat.
Yeah. He wasn't. He was never like muscular.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but,
Charlie on Fat.
But yeah, for like as far as big martial arts, Sammo Hung.
He got bigger in his later years. Charlie on Fat.
Muscular? Did he?
Not muscular.
Oh, has he not? I haven't even seen it.
No, if you go and you look, past his Crouch the Tiger and Dragon days, he started putting on.
So that was another one for me was Sammo Hung. That guy for being a bigger dude, just watching him move is just like.
Yeah. But then you got your guys like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Yeah.
Those guys could all, knock a stone pillar off of a freaking.
We don't train that way anymore. No. Everybody's into the mixed martial arts. I feel they want to learn all three at once instead of.
They want to learn the triangle rules. They want to learn the winning definitive moves.
Choke you out.
It's not a dance anymore. It's the ego. Money comes with the ego.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
No.
Yeah,
no.
I know you're not saying, but somebody might, how they like to twist it. No.
A lot of the guys aiming for the top spot are looking for the money. So then there's a guy passionate guys.
I'm looking for the money, but I want to bring people up there so they can get the money too. The ones that already have it. No, even they still want it. Yeah.
Looking for money, dude.
I don't think they're looking in the right places though. Did you hear about the one guy in Rochester they got? He was a millionaire.
I believe it.
He was standing on the corner to get more money.
I seen that one video of a lady panhandling and walked over to her Lamborghini. It was like Florida or something. The guy's like, excuse me, what are you doing?
I need gas.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so we pretty much touched on everything that we want the podcast to be about.
Yep.
Moving forward from this episode, we'll get away from more of introducing ourselves into more of a format. We'll pick situation outcomes and we'll talk about them as far as success, failures, things like that. We're going to work on creating segments, being very innovative with these segments too. I don't want to just be a rehash of the last podcast you listened to. I'm going to use some of the formulas that a lot of the successful podcasts have worked. And as I get more acquainted with these podcasts and things like that, I'm understanding how they work. You're not going to see us talking over each other. We're not going to do that to you now. We're not going to pollute your airwaves. We want to get points across. We want to get your points across is the biggest. We want to help build you, help build us. So
we want everybody to respond. Veterans, people, if you spent, I like to call it camp. If you, behind the bars, if you were there and you feel stuck, reach out to us. Yeah. Mental illness. I've been hearing a lot about that and people are afraid to talk about it.
It's a pandemic.
I don't understand why you're afraid. If it has to do with your kids and there's an issue, you should never feel afraid.
Well, people feel like it's their fault for some reason if something goes that direction.
I
It's
can
not
see
your
that.
fault.
No.
It's genetics. There's a lot of into play with
It's
that.
the chicken
Yeah.
and the meat.
Yeah. The meat and the
The meat.
potatoes. The meat and the potatoes
And
of
the
the situation.
spinach.
Yeah.
What if I was wrong?
Well, we're gonna touch down on these things. We're gonna implement, maybe some music. We gotta figure out what we can be played, what can't be played. If I gotta make my own damn music, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna attempt to bring on guests from time to time, all different avenues. I have a couple people in mind. I'll get into that in other episodes.
And the rich people. If I can get a hold of some of these, because I talk to a lot of like your motivational people. They reach me on the Instagram or whatnot and TikTok, and if we can get some of them where
Which I believe we can.
their
I believe we
camera
can.
shows up on here to screen, that I think
I
that would
believe
be
we can.
awesome. We get Matthew McConaughey.
Once,
to do
yeah,
it.
right. Then we know we made it. We have.
That's right. Will Smith, The Rock.
But just to kind of give you an idea of, one of the guys I'm thinking of was a childhood friend. He now lives in Virginia. Dude was he's a rapper.
Okay.
He's a nurse.
Wow.
He's a healer.
What do you
He
mean
has
a
his
healer?
own. He
Like
has his,
like Reiki?
like what
Or
was
like
it?
he's like a
Like
doctor thing?
Doctor.
Really?
Doctor. What was that guy's name? The guy that passed away. All the conspiracies. He had the cure for cancer and the cure for this.
Oh, like they made the movie on the Medicine Man off of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those doctors.
Okay.
I'll get this information more figured out as we go on. Before we hit these podcasts up, I'm going to do more research on the topics that we're talking about. I'll pull across formulas and ideas and things like that. But yeah, he's a medicine man. He creates his own herbs.
It's a good movie.
So, matter of fact, he just dropped an album probably half a year ago, a little less than half a year ago. He did pretty damn well on Spotify too. He put his numbers up not too long ago. He goes by Hafiz was one of his names, which I think is a Arabic poetic guy or something like that. We'll have to look into that. But his last album, he made a whole track, and you don't hear this a lot in rap these days. He's more of a thinker, more of like a conscious rapper.
Okay.
All right. He has stories to tell. He has information to spread. This one whole track, and we can listen to it after this podcast.
Okay.
And then we'll touch down on it next. And you tell me how you felt about it, because I know rap isn't in like your. I mean, it's in or around,
more
but
old school rap, not
yeah.
this.
Well,
that stuff.
He is
Okay.
formulated from the old school kind of guys. Your all the guys, Big Daddy Kane, Wu-Tang guys back in the day. But he made a whole track about healing, like certain vitamins and stuff that you take for certain ailments.
Like in a song?
Like the whole song is, you take this for it sounds goofy, but dude, when you listen to it,
probably is.
holy crap, that's pretty damn good.
That's interesting.
Like just like certain herbs and certain things, like cumin's good for this. Cumin, like he just keeps going and going and going, and that's why I want to bring him on, because he's got a lot of knowledge. He's one of those guys that digs for the truth. He's not telling you how the truth is, because nobody knows. He knows this. He's a philosophical, he's searching. He's searching for the answers.
He doesn't force it on you. He just lets you know, hey, look into this.
Look into this. Read this.
He's not saying this is the way. He's saying,
and he's not like straight up conspiracy theorist, like this has to be true. He's searching around, searching,
okay,
maybe this is true, things like that. But I think he'd be a great asset to bring on the podcast every once in a while, just because of his outlook and stuff.
Well, you said he's a healer, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would mean we come up with a name for him. All right, today we're going to get a nice little visit from Dr. So-and-so.
And in exchange for bringing him on our podcast, we can plug his stuff. You can go to his website and stuff like that.
I like
give it an idea, give it a shot. Throughout our span here, we're gonna look for sponsors and stuff like that. We want to plug people's stuff. We want to get notoriety. So whatever it takes. Everybody's doing the Manscaped thing. Everybody's doing the Blue Chew, and everybody's all that stuff. Hey, whatever it takes for us to get noticed And you get free stuff, by the way.
And we will be doing our own, coming up with a clothing line of like your sayings,
Yeah.
with Forge on it. We're going to
Maybe
be
you
doing
guys
that.
could help us create it.
Yeah.
Tell us what you guys. I know you're not gonna walk around with a shirt that says Ray and Brandon on it. So
I wouldn't sell a shirt that says Ray and Brandon.
maybe we could though. Maybe we can twist it.
Where'd you get that?
But we're in the midst of coming up with an emblem. Something to do
That's
with.
awesome.
We kind of shot around the idea with an arrow and ascension, because essentially that's what we want to do. We want to bring everybody up. We want everybody to ascend. We don't want anybody going down.
No.
No.
No. We got big hands and strong. We'll lift you up.
And we can even touch down on other categories. There's a lot of people out there, including myself. We are in the Raider Cave. We're coming to you from the Raider Cave live. I'm a huge Raiders fan. It's not really a positive. It tells you a lot about.
Not a positive.
Tells you a lot about me. I'm a very optimistic person. Here in Bills country, where we reside from, I became the West Coast Bills fan, essentially. Not so much this year, but yeah, we could touch down on other categories just to have fun.
Everything.
It doesn't necessarily have to be all motivational and all inspiring.
No.
To
Music,
be honest
movies.
with you, sports and
sports.
artists like musicians, they are the epitome of ascension. They are the epitome of inspiration. Your Matthew McConaughey's, they're the epitome of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
They had the will to get to where and a lot of their backstories are the same. They came from nothing. How many of them live in cars? How many times have you heard that story?
A lot. Minga, there's one I just heard the other day where this guy's a multi-millionaire. He lives in a van.
You know why?
Like in a van.
You know why? And that outcome is probably.
He likes it. That's all I really got. He did a little interview.
Can we dial it back to the yin yang effect?
We could.
In order to get to that light, he had to achieve the darkness of life. Again, that's how I apply shit to stuff. Living in the back of your car by any means is. Some people.
What's her face did? Rawlings did that for a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's a lot of stories like that. And you don't necessarily have to be a celebrity to have a story like that. If you have a story like that, share it with us.
Yeah.
That's maybe a segment we can do. We could bring on a person who has a story from rags to riches and read their story, and maybe they can explain to us how they got there.
Even if they're not like that well known, like J.K. Rowling's or whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could just be an average Joe Schmo like me and Brandon.
Where you're only making, a few $100,000 a year, but you know what? You're living your life. You're content, you're happy, and you're still going, all right, what am I going to do today? Let's go to this step.
I still struggle with that to this day. Trying to take care of my family. Everybody who's a family man out there is not an easy thing. I still struggle with allocating my time to my family over making money sometimes. I get it in my head, like, if I don't make enough money, my family's going to hate me. It doesn't come across like that, but sometimes you feel like that when you're in a stressful position.
I look at it as I don't have time to spend with the family, or I don't have time, even if you make the time. And that's what it is, too. It's not just not having it. It's you have to make the time if it's important. But you get that attack. You're like, I need to make money, though, so that we can be happy. It takes up your time. You're spending this much time on, I've got to make money. And then you forget.
I heard this. I don't know if it was McConaughey or somebody. It was recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kanye West. A lot of people think that guy's shot in the brain. But hey, I'm serious.
Hey, he's doing something right.
Listen to what he's trying to achieve, and take the music aspect out of it. Listen to this guy on Joe Rogan, I believe is the line. He's trying to build from the beginning to the end. Like, It's not about changing a person along the way. It's about changing our tribal habits, our cultural habits. Nations have cultures. It doesn't just mean the food you're eating off the table. It's the way people go to work every day. That's their culture, how they're cultivated. And he's trying to change that through the church. He's a church guy.
Okay.
He's using that as his first, and we'll get into that. But I think it was him, and he says, the only time we have is now. Whatever's in the past is in the past, and whatever's in the future is in the future. The only little bit of time we really have is right now. what I just said is in the past already. We don't have that time anymore.
You can't get it back.
And it's just a memory. It's on
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
But that is,
Yeah.
you know,
No.
it kind of opened my mind up. Like,
It
oh
makes you
shit, this
think.
guy's right, man. Like, when you go home and you hug your kids tonight, that's the time you have right then and there. Because tomorrow is not
It's not.
guaranteed.
Yeah. It's not.
Anything will happen between today and tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna be big into that. We're both family men. We both got multiple children. We're still with our significant other. Um, different routes to get there. So how we met each other, we'll touch down on this real quick. His sister is my fiance. I'd like to say she's my wife. We've been with each other for 14 years. So by any means, I think that's legal marriage, right?
Well, in California, 7 years. I don't know how it works in New York.
Oh, we can have a California state of mind. It doesn't matter where you physically live. We can mentally live there. I mentally live there all the time. Why do you think I'm a Raiders
I
fan?
don't know. They're over there shakes all the time. The earthquakes.
But yeah, we're gonna touch down on all and everything positive.
Mhm.
Even if we got to talk about the negatives to get to the positive, as long as the outcome is positive, I feel like we're gonna succeed at what we're trying to do.
Oh, most definitely.
And
Yeah,
it's not because it's gonna take a lot of work and effort. It's because we're gonna open our minds. You're gonna open your minds. We're gonna come together as a collective, and we're gonna figure out how to remain positive all the time. I need this lesson in my life. Like, I'm trying to be positive at the same time. There's things that are bringing me down, and it's out of my control. And I think that's what bothers me. I go back to I'm a control freak, but I'm not trying to change anybody. When something's out of my control, it drives me nuts. And it's not because I'm trying to control, like, change
Mhm.
something, because I can't do anything about it.
You cannot let them enter your mind. No. You don't let people rent space in your mind because they've already won.
Rent free, at least.
Yeah.
No.
You know, don't let them in. All right, just let some people.
If they're gonna resign in your mind, they should pay you to do it.
I used to have somebody. I used to work at a restaurant. And I used to have somebody would come in and try to bust my chops every day, just bust, 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 and I would just respond with a big old Santa chuckle, and then go about what do it.
Yeah.
And they would ask my significant other, "Do you give him drugs?" Because we tried it and nothing. He's just laughing and this way the whole
They think
time.
you're sedated.
Yeah, no, that's just me.
It's the one track mind I told you.
That's
Maybe
yes,
we
that
share
is
that
my
in
track.
common.
That is my track.
Yeah.
I'm just laugh because being sad, it's not going to make anything. It's not going to change anything.
No.
It's not going to help.
Nope.
It's going to hinder it all. You know, so I just somebody says something to me, haha. If it's not positive or to lift me up, I just laugh.
What's that saying? What's that saying? Take one step forward, 10 steps back.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't believe in that crap.
No,
No.
because when I take a step forward, I put a
I
stake down.
believe in more the opposite. Take one step back, take 10 steps forward. Because you learn from that lesson.
Mhm.
My mantra, is that what they say? My
Yeah.
mantra? Like my slogan.
Yeah.
My Facebook slogan.
There you go.
Is win some, lose none. What does that mean to you?
Even if you're losing, you're still winning because you're losing. You're learning a way how not to do whatever you're trying.
That's not my ego trying to say I never lose. I'm not this loser. It's me trying to say that you can gain from losing, so you're still winning essentially.
Pitbull says that. They did an interview with Pitbull. He was talking about that because they're using football. I believe it's over in California to teach kids math
Yeah, hey.
instead of just a regular. This is their problem. They're using football, running
So
yards and everything.
Remember how I told you this DJ thing I picked up and ran with, right? In high school, I was the biggest. I sucked at that.
I still suck at math.
I'm getting better because I'm reapplying what I learned as a child and with the school teaching stuff at home. Even though they're doing this Common Core thing that completely blows my mind. We'll get into that in another episode. Where it takes them 10 equations to get to one equation that we could have did the one equation by itself and got there. My kid thinks I'm a god because I could do it like that. But yeah. So yeah.
You know, I don't. That's some that math is one subject that.
Back to what I was saying as far as the DJing thing. Music is math. Music is done in forms of four. So if you know any musician or artists, they're doing their bars or vocals, doing it in fours. The way they write, they're doing it in fours. I'm sure there's other ways.
Mm-hmm.
But if I fired up my DJ software right here, when I hit play on my DJ software, they're counting it in fours up top. Now, when I transition into a song that has the same beat per minute and the
Yeah.
same key, I can transition to that song without you even noticing. I changed the song without the being
Mm-hmm.
at different lyrics and different artists or whatnot, because it's all done in math. Now I suck at it, but because I can hear it and I can see it,
Mm-hmm.
it formulates to me different.
Yeah.
And I have like this ticker in my mind when I'm mixing music. I'm not counting four. I'm not going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's visually there for me. Okay, and then when you read music, you got your 8-bar intro, you got your verse, you got your chorus. Those are all done in certain lengths of time or certain,
Mm-hmm.
certain verses are longer, but you'll always the outcome will be 16, 32,
Mm-hmm.
everything divisible by 4.
Hmm.
Not beats per minute, but
Yeah.
the rhythm of it. So next time you listen to a song out there in your head, count the beat 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter how fast, if you got to count faster, 1, 2, 3, 4. But apply that, just like you were saying, they're teaching football math. So that's where this conversation
Mm-hmm.
came
Mm-hmm.
from. I applied that to the math portion of it. Now people are like, "How you do?"
How do you do that? Well, I use music.
And
There you go.
I've DJed with other DJs that have that same software that I do with the
Mm-hmm.
4 bars counting. They're like, "You don't have to line that up every time." I'm like, "I know this, but I taught myself how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this visual and this
That's
I have
how I
this
learned.
sound."
Yeah.
That's how my transitions are seamless because I have that visual to let me know that my beat is on. It's on point with the other beat coming in. Do you understand?
Oh yeah. See, he
Yeah.
wasn't like this. He was like this. Oh, I don't understand this.
Mm-hmm.
How can I understand this? Oh, music. Look at this. Now I know what this is.
So I'm not gonna throw names out there or anything like that, but the DJ that told me that, hey, you don't have to have that aligned up. That's great. I'm glad you figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how I do it. But we release the same kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his way, I got my way.
Exactly.
His way wasn't wrong or right. I mean, it's right to the point where he's doing the job right.
Mm-hmm.
My point wasn't wrong or right. So that could be applied to any.
Yeah.
One guy's got his way of doing something, another guy's got, but as long as that finish line is the same result, no one was wrong there.
And you don't try to force, oh, this is how you do it. No.
Yeah,
Everybody has their own way to do everything.
exactly. And
And that's good.
you got anything else
That's
to
good.
add to
I'm
that?
good. You know what? I think for a first podcast, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of random, but
Yeah, but we brought in a
that's
sense of ourselves into the.
that's how you portray yourself. We're having a conversation essentially amongst ourselves.
Mhm.
That's how I kind of look at this podcast thing. And if people want to join in and enjoy our conversation and learn from it and teach us from it, then this could be a very positive thing.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to take this experience and use it in other podcasts. I'm huge into fantasy football. I'd like to get my hands on that. There's other things. We can do a martial arts podcast. People will probably love it. You can do a watch along with like a movie or something.
Like the Mystery Science, was it Mystery Science Theater or the Rift Trip?
Kind
Those guys,
of.
when they used to do that,
You
yeah.
put a camera behind
Yeah.
us, and you got a big bushy beard. You got your beard and my little roly-poly head.
And then somebody does something like, "Oh, Marsha, no, don't kick him!" Like,
I
"Oh."
have to wear a hat because I'm pretty basic, so I gotta wear something going on there. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. We can implement a lot of pop culture. You watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies.
Keeps me sane, and it's cheaper than alcohol.
Quite frankly, I'm a nerd when it comes to pop culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me that or some
you
video
see the
games.
Star Wars stuff in the background. You see Homer up there. That's how I get down, man. I'm a little kid. I never grew up. I mean, so,
That's how he cleans the house in Star Wars.
yeah, I throw in my Darth Vader back in the floors. But yeah, I think we did a pretty good job for our first podcast.
Why did I just see a picture of you and Darth Vader back
I got it over there, dude.
Fuck you, Will.
Maybe we'll do a full episode of me in the Darth Vader mask and the voice.
That's right.
I'm nobody else's father out there. Don't come at me for child support. Not happening. I've been in the same place for 14 years. Don't try it. But yeah, man, we had a pretty good, substantial conversation here. I think you guys get the gist of where we're going, what we want to do. Anything to add, man?
No, I'm excited.
Is there anywhere we can reach you on? You got any social media?
I do have Instagram. The Wild Man. It's on Instagram. Yeah, I have a TikTok. I don't know what the name of it is. I think it says yours or something because I haven't changed it.
TikTok.
I watch the videos. These people are hilarious.
I get it. I see people, but I just can't. I don't have the time for it.
I've made 2 videos whilst I was driving to the store. Well, I made one video one time.
You're a TikToker.
Oh, no, I wouldn't call myself a TikToker. I've only made 2 videos. And I don't do all the transitions where I change my face and all that.
Well,
Those guys.
Maybe we'll have to.
Yeah. I'll put a mask on.
Maybe we'll have to do a couple TikToks.
There you go.
But if that's how we have to get the crowd, I'll take whatever.
Yeah.
We want
Facebooks. I know we have Facebooks.
Well, I'm the old guy. I'm the Facebook guy. I guess that's today's standard. I Facebook, but I use a lot of it for business and just to share with people that I don't see every day anymore. To watch them, they could watch my kids grow up and stuff like that. Because I feel like even though I'm not in touch with some of these people, it's important for them to see the phases of life I go through.
Yeah. And we're not too old to get on anything that the internet changes at all.
I will. Computers I have an Instagram, but it's so full with crap. A Twitter. I have to start a new one.
I have a Twitter, but I don't get on. My Twitter that much. It's usually just to hear what other people tweet.
Yeah.
Because I don't tweet. Yeah. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I've never. So once Twitter first came out, I got into it for 10 minutes. But all in that 10 minutes, I talked to a professional athlete. So.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, I don't have a tweet.
I don't know why.
I don't know
you figured that would keep me on, right? That I talked to somebody important. No.
Because they take one thing and it's they turn it into a dating site. Or
this is the beginning of social media.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
So I was turned off by the whole idea that you couldn't write more than a certain amount of words.
Oh, I don't know. I've never done one. I've just talked.
I guess that was all about Twitter. Okay. You could only use so many letters. I was like,
oh, okay. Yeah, TikTok is the same way when you do a comment on something.
Well, Instagram did the whole picture thing, but essentially they're all the same now.
I have a Snapchat that I don't use. I think I set it up, but I don't know.
I use it, but only for filters for my kids. I haven't even done that in a while.
I don't know how to Snapchat. So, my brother would like us just to put this out too. He just came by, and he does tattoos, and we'll be bringing him on the show. An episode coming too. He does great work. After my arm heals up a little bit, I'll show you his work. And other than that,
I don't have any tattoos. You guys might talk me into it eventually, but there's nothing. I don't hate tattoos or nothing. It's just I don't know.
Never saw something that grabbed your fancy.
Well, there'd have to be a big Raiders emblem somewhere. I represent the brand.
There you go, the pirate with a head on and the swords on his back.
I love pirates, dude.
There you go. Yeah. Have you watched the show yet?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't, dude.
He does work 2 jobs though, so in his defense,
there's a lot of stuff I watch, and these days I'm very short attention span. So when I watch something, it has to be,
I used to watch that Warrior show that where the guy comes over that I can't get because I don't have Showtime or Cinemax.
Yeah. Martial arts,
No.
I can turn on a show in the middle of the season and watch so much martial arts. So that's
I know. I can just
watch short stuff like boxing or football, stuff doesn't need my full attention.
Because you can still pay attention to the kids.
Yeah, well, I'm paying attention to the kids, or I'm writing estimates for paint work, or whatever I got going on. Even if it's just sitting there and quiet, scrolling through my phone,
Mm-hmm.
some on the background. But when I do get a chance to watch, I'll take up on that. I have made it through many series. Recently, I find the only series I'm watching are with your sister. It's something so that we could spend time together sometimes. You gotta find a common ground.
There you go. Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, yeah, man, where are we at? A minute and 14.
No, an hour and 14. I was
I
gonna
meant
say,
an hour
whoa,
and
I was gonna
14.
say that was a lot of talking.
Yeah, my mouth's dry. That's another thing. We gotta get some water on the table so we can
I was
keep
thinking
talking.
about that earlier. Goes bam.
First run, man.
Oh,
First
yeah.
run. So I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't have any crazy slogans or anything yet to like leave the podcast.
No.
Check out, right?
No, not yet. Nothing. I haven't thought of
Should,
something.
should I to follow up on inspirational quotes? I'll just leave everybody with an inspirational quote for today.
Okay.
We won't assess it. Maybe we'll think about it over the week, and
Yeah.
and we can talk about
Yeah,
it.
something to leave them with.
Yeah, just something to help people think. I'm gonna go on to my old man Facebook here. I'm gonna pull up. Oh, that's my music. Gotta have yummy music.
Is that music or is that a video?
That's
This is the
music.
yummy video.
Yeah. The yummy garden. It's, yeah. Let me just load up my Facebook.
All right, no worries. No worries.
But,
We do hope you enjoyed it. Like I said,
Yeah.
we understand this is our first time. We're really going as it goes on. Maybe we start making some money. We're going to get bigger mics. We'll have a nice
Yeah, we'll be
mic.
those guys.
Yell into the mic.
Yeah.
Oh!
Like we said, we'll bring on some people. We
Yeah.
can bring on your brother. We'll talk about tattoos one episode. I'm sure there's a
Okay.
lot of guys out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people use tattoos as a form of inspiration.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a good.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for quite some time, so he'll have some good insight on that. We could bring in some other people. I do know quite a few people that are successful with things. It's about getting them and their time. Even if we could learn the Zoom call thing,
Yeah. No, we can get that. Yeah.
I used to be a pretty technical guy. Like I can't.
I look at it like this. They come up with something, and by the time I learn it in about 3 months, they're already coming out with something new.
Yeah. It's like the phones. So
don't get me started on that.
I still have an old Samsung, maybe 3 generations old, and I'm ready for a new phone.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those guys that rush out and has to have the new technology because, quite frankly, what I have in my pocket is more than I can handle. And I don't mean that in a joker's way. Let me see here. I'm going to bring up my last. And I believe that this was something I was thinking.
Okay.
I don't do the. Oh, crap. All right, here. We're back. I had to figure out the whole Facebook on the desktop because I never go on Facebook on my desktop. But what we were doing was I was going to leave you guys with a quote today. Usually I quote somebody else or come up with a quote or something like that, but this was something I was doing as I was working. And when I rattle off a quote like that, sometimes in my brain, the way I remember is just take to Facebook and write it down and see what other people think or how it's accepted. So it went as this: show of hands, how many people out there are killing themselves to earn a living? Hashtag irony. Hashtag reallocate your time. Let that marinate. You think about it. Think about it during the week. I know what it meant to me. I look at it as for what it says, but there's deeper meaning in it, and we'll get to that next episode.
Yeah.
Dissect it.
Yeah.
And,
Send us your answers.
Yeah.
What you think?
and if we don't get any answers, we'll still dissect it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you where I was coming from, but we're gonna ask Brandon first what he thinks of it, how he's gonna dissect it, because I know what I meant by it. So with that being said, that's our inspirational quote to close our first podcast
Of many
to come. This podcast name Forge.
Forge.
So look for that. A lot of episodes coming up. Hope we weren't too corny, chatty, whatever you want to say it. I hope we, at least put in perspective at what you are going to hear on our podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if we were chatty or corny, we want you to be able to listen to us.
Yeah.
Take us into your home. Make us part of your family.
Why not, right?
See you later.
See you next week.